Hey, I'm Rob Delorier, Director and Coach of the Extreme Team Advanced Ski Clinics. Through our clinics in this video, we want to share our experiences and techniques for radical all-mountain free skiing. We will give you the tools to ski any terrain in any snow conditions. Yeah!
The great things about the team is that we each have our own personality, skiing style, and teaching philosophies.
Skiing is all about fun and good times, and the more versatile you're skiing, the more fun you can have anytime, anywhere.
I'm Dean Deacus, I'm tree skiing, and I'm out of here.
What do I do when I have an off day of skiing? I think about work, and I ski some more.
I got the best tip for you. Do what I do. No, don't do what I do. Taking your skiing off the beaten path is one of the most beautiful things you could ever do. And through this video, we just want to share our experience, what we've learned about skiing off-piste with you. And we're not saying it's the end-all, we're not saying even that it's right, but it's what works for us. Advanced skiing is flowing through turns in balance with poise and control. We call this concept fluid balance. Fluid balance is the appropriate sequence of body movements and the resulting ski pressures that create an effortless flow turn to turn. In Advance to the Steeps, we'll show our techniques for crud, chutes, cornice entry, steeps, and backcountry terrain. But first, let's check out the fundamental groom turn. Developing a bomber groomed run turn is the first step to all-mountain skiing, because in essence, the ability to adapt that groomed run technique to any terrain and any snow condition, that makes you a true all-mountain skier.
Balance is critical. You need to have a good athletic stance and constantly adjusting your balance as you're in constant fluid motion.
Groom skiing is made up of two athletic stances, the transition stance and the power position. In the transition stance, body weight is centered over the balls of the feet, legs are comfortably flexed, shoulders are level, and the upper body is directed down the hill, anticipating the new turn. In the power position, knees and hips are angled into the hill to direct body weight onto the edge of the ski. Your upper body is now inside the arc of the skis and directed downhill, anticipating the transition to the new turn. Groom skiing is the flow between these two body positions, power and transition.
Basic turn is the basic stance. Don't keep those ankles too close together. Give those babies some room to breathe.
Where do I look like I come from?
All turns are made up of two phases, the power phase and the transition phase. The power phase begins in the fall line of the turn and ends at the point where you're heading across the hill. The transition phase is the flow across the hill and into the fall line of the new turn. In the power phase, you direct your body weight onto the edges of your skis to create a platform in the snow through the arc of the turn. As the turn progresses, the energy in your body and skis naturally builds on this platform until the energy is released towards the new turn. The transition phase begins at the moment you release that energy. Your body mass floats downhill as your legs and skis flow beneath you across the fall line. This creates a natural edge change and initiates the new turn as your body weight begins to settle onto your skis. As your skis cut the arc through the power phase, knees flex and hips sink as your mass increasingly loads your skis. Ride this arcing platform, complete the turn, then release the built-up energy towards the new turn. Your energy is released by shifting weight to your uphill ski, allowing your upper body to unweight and float downhill towards the new turn, as your skis drift outside the path of your upper body and naturally initiate the new turn.
Pole planting is the key element to anticipate your next turn. With a proper pole plant, your hands are in a natural position.
Your pole plant marks your timing point for releasing out of the power phase and starting the transition phase.
Through the film, we're going to show the variations in those postures and stances so you can achieve effortless flow as snow conditions and terrain vary.
When I was a kid, I was never too cool for ski school. That's where I learned the importance of drills. It would be great to think that every time you stepped into your skis, everything would go perfect. But let's get real. Every now and then, you're going to have to recover. So I like to do somersaults to warm up. Somersault's important because as your body spins, you have to think about what's going on and you have to tuck in your knees. Somersault's good because it loosens you up, gets you ready for anything. You can come around and you can be prepared and land on your feet. You can't drive the bus from the back seat, so you have to stand tall and work your way down the mountain, get out of the frozen zone and back into balance. It's as easy as walking your way down the mountain. Traverse across the hill. Make short little steps. Keep your feet under your body. In the belly of the turn, keep those feet moving. It's all about balance. Sometimes the different terrain calls for selective edge pressuring. Check this out. You don't want constant pressure on your skis. You want to touch them and let them go and touch them again. Here we go. Selective edge pressuring is about rolling your knees into the hill and then releasing them and rolling them back into the hill throughout the whole turn.
I'm gonna smell right like a toucan. I'm gonna smell right by the bull. I'm gonna smell right.
Here's a tip that'll help your traversing be easier and faster. Check out how this traverse track is really flat all the way across the bowl. So here's a technique for going forward. You just kind of point your skis downhill a little so you start sliding, and then to maintain your altitude or actually gain some, you just start stepping with your uphill ski, keeping your skis at a slightly downhill angle so you can maintain your forward momentum. And once you get good at it and you get momentum going, you can actually start to gain altitude over your average traverse track. Make for a few more good crushes once you get to where you're going. most important skill that you have to master in any type of steep situation is the ability to use your uphill ski to make your transition into your next turn. You can see just by the way I'm standing on the hill here that my downhill leg is really straight. It's hard to get any extension or make any adjustment with the downhill leg. The uphill leg is the key. You need to be able to come off of your downhill edge and extend off the uphill ski. So the move is you're coming across the hill, you just put your weight on your uphill ski and project out and down the hill a little bit and just swing your ski into the fall line. Carve, project, carve, project off the uphill ski, carve, project, project.
Extend off your uphill leg and project your body downhill towards your next turn. As you float through the transition phase and your feet are flowing under your body, swing your skis into the fall line and touch them down, poised to carve through the power phase of the turn with a strong stance.
The basic stance on the steeps. Weight on two skis, knees into the hill, hips into the hill, but shoulders weighting over the feet. That way the mass is onto your edges.
Another key point in steep skiing is you have to keep your shoulders and hands facing down the hill, especially your shoulders. So when you're finishing one turn, you're making your pole plant to start your next turn. Your shoulders and your chest should be facing right down the hill. In the truly steep, when you're pushing your personal envelope right to the edge, when your abilities are being tested, it's imperative that on every turn, you have your balance and your control before you start your next turn.
Body position. Let's talk about that. You're on the steeps, look down the fall line, face the fall line. Get a friend of yours to stand below you. Take your downhill pole and put it in your buddy's hands, okay? Now, face him. He's the fall line. That's where your energy going. This is downhill skiing. Face down the hill. I can look right at Eric. And look, I can almost pull Eric up the hill. Try this, only lean over, sideways at the waist. Look straight across the hill. Don't look, and have your friend pull you. See how quickly you go down the hill. Play with that body position. You'll find the right place to stand.
Kick turning on the steeps can help you. It can get you out of a situation and get you headed off in the right direction. I always like to set up my poles first so that my skis don't hit them. Then I just kick the other one around, follow through with my pole, and boom, and boom. Okay, it's a fluid motion. Everything just keeps on moving all the way around the hill. It's important to have a lot of tools in your tool chest. The floating transition allows you to get your feet up off the snow and make a turn through the air. It's the introduction to the airplane turn. The most important part is to make sure that you're balanced, and then when you spring up off the snow, your feet stay under your body. Notice that the shoulders are square to the hill and they stay perpendicular throughout the turn. This allows your feet to follow your upper body. The floating transaction The floating transition can be used in steeps, cruds, or in the grooms.
The airplane turn is really an extended floating transition between turns. You want to complete one turn as you come up off an obstacle to get an effortless float, and then transfer your feet underneath your body so they're prepared when you touch down into the new landing to just start arcing again. The knees are up, feet are underneath the body, poised to touch down right in the arc. Air, turn.
When executing the airplane turn over an obstacle, you should treat it just like you treat a regular turn. Make the pole plant to the side that you want to turn above the obstacle, unweight your skis, and let yourself float over the obstacle.
Air, turn.
So let's start every run with an airplane turn. Let's take the next step. Let's work that into the flow of the run.
Check out how the uphill hand leads the rotation through the air.
So you feel the arc. You learn what that feeling is. The feeling of the shape. Boom. Nice. So the best way to learn how to do an airplane turn is find a good spot and just do it.
As you get more into off-piste skiing, skiing off the groomed runs, or doing a little bit of backcountry skiing, you're going to find that you'll be out in the elements a little more, and you'll also be dealing with different levels of exertion and therefore different levels of body heat that you're generating. Layering your clothing is a great way to maintain your body temperature, either to stay warm or cold as you're hiking or skiing. So why don't we go over a couple of the technical features that I found to be really handy in both outer layers and next to skin layers.
Pit zips let you vent excess body heat and moisture without having to take your clothes off. Cuffs should form a tight seal around your wrist to keep out wind, water, and snow.
Okay, another key feature to have on a jacket is the hood. Okay, the hood comes over the back, and it should be a hood that will cover your whole head, your ears, and I like to have it cover part of my face. And also a good hood will, when you zip it up, forms a nice bond all the way around your head, neck, face. One of the great things about this coat is that it's extremely waterproof. And breathable.
You ever have a day skiing after a storm when you end up in that super deep, heavy, thick Elmer's glue kind of crud snow? Well, once you get the hang of powering through it and popping back out, it can be a good time to ski.
Successful short radius crud skiing involves a combination of two ski platforms, floating transition, and a more compact power position.
So let's talk about stance adjustment for this really heavy snow, okay? When you're in the power phase of the turn, when your skis are in the snow and you're powering through the snow, you need to lower your stance, lower your hips a little from the groom stance, right? So you can push your feet through the snow to get the smooth release into your next turn.
As you enter the snow, weight both skis evenly to create a two-ski platform. This keeps you from sinking too deep, and by lowering your hips, the back halves of your skis are weighted, forcing the tails down and the tips up. These actions create a platform, angled up and out of the snow, for you to pop off for a floating transition. Lead the floating transition with your outside hand. Once you're out of the snow, pivot your skis into the fall line of the new turn. Fluid balance is achieved in this type of crud snow with a compact range of motion, where your hips stay behind your feet the whole time. In the transition stance, you only extend to this point, and for the power position, your hips are lowered to here.
Okay, another quick hint for this heavy snow is that it's much easier to ski in snow that hasn't been tracked up. So look for the freshies in the heavy snow and you'll have a much smoother rhythm.
Yeah, baby, you can do it. Like butter. Get in and out of it. In and out, in and out, in and out.
Milk the giraffe.
Utterly beautiful.
Let's talk a little bit about visualization. Pick some terrain that you feel comfortable with. Go up to a nice section of it where you can see the whole line. Pick that line. Fun little airplane turns, whatever they are, sharp turns, big flights, whatever. See where the run starts, see where it ends. Visualize that whole run a couple times in your mind. When you see it, lock the memory in, go do it, do it, do it. Point A, point B, go. It's really simple. A, B, C, go. So when you get to the point that you picked for your ending, stop right there. Don't go any further. Be happy with what you did, and then do it again. Keep on practicing.
Skiing in the powder can be some of the most fun you can have skiing, but it can be a real bummer when you fall because sometimes you can lose a ski. One tip in helping you find that ski is to get up out of the snow and look at your track and walk back up your snow track, swiping the snow with your other ski. Up until you feel something like that there. You reach down, take a look. Luckily in my case, it was my ski. That's your tip for the day.
So when the snow gets chopped up or the snow gets heavy, long radius crud skiing is one of our favorite things to do. The move from groomed to crud for the long radius turns is really quite simple. The primary difference is the height of your hips. You need to lower the hips slightly while maintaining pressure on the front of your boot to counter the resistance of the crud snow on your feet and shins. For example, if you're about to run into a huge pile of crud snow, this may be neutral, so you can absorb the impact through the front of your boots and your hips.
If the crud is not so deep, it almost progresses to a groom stance, which is right over the balls of your feet. The problem with a lot of folks is standing on the balls of your feet like it's groomed in the crud, and you get the jolting forward.
Another advantage of the crud power position is that your knees are actually out in front of your hips, which allows for a greater range of motion for your legs to absorb the shock of the variable snow.
In long radius crud skiing, you want to eliminate the weak moment, which is often between the turns. As you come around the corner, completing one turn with the downhill dominant ski, you begin to pressure the inside ski. So as you come across the hill, your skis are very evenly weighted 50-50, which eliminates the ski deflection from the crud snow. And then as you roll your feet over, you downweight onto the dominant downhill ski, come around the corner, step on the uphill again. As you come across, evenly weighted, and then downweight onto the dominant ski again. As you're skiing through the crud, you'll experience different resistance from the snow. So it's a constant adjustment of hip height to counter that resistance to find neutral.
Just take my Rushmore. Every Sunday in the park and the museum. You can see them. We can crucify them long after they're dead. Even statues lose their heads. 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 Eins, zwei, drei, vier.
The use of the uphill ski for turn completion is critical in the crud. By learning this transition to the uphill ski, you will achieve a clean finish to each turn and a smooth initiation for the next. To do this drill, complete each turn on one ski. Then transfer your weight to the outside edge of your uphill ski and coast in that awkward position for a second. Roll your knee down the hill, and the transition to the new turn is effortless. This is key to fluid balance for long radius crud turns. In the javelin turn drill, you cross the tip of your uphill ski over the tip of your downhill ski. This forces proper knee and hip angulations through the turn. This is actually a turn completion drill. It forces you to find your balance on one ski for the finish of the turn. If you complete your turns in the javelin position, you're doing this drill right.
Welcome to the ultimate zone. Welcome to the ultimate zone. Where music is love and love is
Inline skating is a lot of fun and one of my favorite cross-training sports for skiing. Meet Alan Riley, longtime friend, ski buddy, and newest member of the X Team.
Yes, I, Buddha style, forward and fiaka. Me knuckling them go sockers, I would say. Cause I and I, son of Rastafari, walk in the way of light.
When making turns going downhill, the flow of body movements is almost identical to skiing. Smoking. Going uphill is a great cardiovascular and strength workout. Skating develops smooth, flowing strength with the lower body powering and projecting the upper body. Great for legs, stomach, and lower back. Awesome. It's great for practicing long radius, short radius, and even the pedal turn if you want to go off-piste.
So here's a few pole stances to help you look cool around the base area or in lift line, okay? Here's your basic 2-pole stance, okay? Here's off to one side stance. Now here's the ever popular World Cup stance. Notice through the back leg, leaning the pole. This gives you an extra little bit of, lateral mobility to kind of check things out. And here's one for deeper snow when you're standing around the powder. Put them on top of your bindings. Lean down on these. It works great. I mean, you not only look cool, I mean, you feel cool if you can rest a little bit. One to remember for the lift line. Oh, another great one. Slight incline. The lean back on the poles. Very cool in the lift lines. Boom.
Unstable cornices are one of the most dangerous terrain features in the mountains. They can collapse if you stand on top of them or break off naturally when you are underneath them. Check them out from the side, never on top. When in doubt, stay away. Resorts in North America do a great job with blasting dangerous cornices, but you still have to use common sense. Once you establish a cornice is safe and sturdy, then you can plan your entry and drop in.
Cornice entry type air will get you into a beautiful steep bowl or into a chute area. The key is control, and there's 2 ways to execute this move. One is with an airplane turn, and one is just to drop straight in. But the key is to land with your skis perpendicular to the fall line for control upon landing. The airplane style cornice entry, it's very important that when you get up to the edge, you have nice control and plant the pole, so that when you step off the cornice, you have a balanced posture in the air. Maintaining a compact body position when you're entering any air off a cornice is critical so you can stick the landing in balance. Some people aren't comfortable making the airplane turn move, the step off the cornice. So if you want to, you can slide in across the fall line without making the airplane turn, but the key move is that control upon the landing.
If a cornice has some new snow buildup, don't step near the edge. You can still get over it by lifting off a few feet back from the edge. This technique takes a little more speed for the takeoff.
Steep. One of the scariest things we have to do is put our skis on the steeps. Let me show you how to do it. Here's the key in soft snow. Stick the old tail in. Downhill ski first. Toe underneath, click it in. And once you got your downhill ski, you got room to move. Tail in. Always. Now you're ripping. Okay, so here we are at the top of the mountain. We're going to go do a little chute skiing, be a little tighter, a little steeper, so we're going to start using the pedal turn.
The pedal turn is the key to control in the steeps.
It's called the pedal turn because you push down with your uphill ski as you pedal this one up. The pedal turn is a natural way to step off the hill in a steep skiing situation. And once you get off the hill, you actually spin your ankles around to change direction.
Oh, you got to find me a cure for this notion. I know that she cares for the skills. There's help on the way, it's gonna be here someday. My heart starts to go to my hands, I go rolling.
The pedal turn evolves out of the basic stance on the steeps. Weight on two skis, knees into the hill, hips into the hill, but shoulders weighting over the feet. That way the mass is onto your edges. If you lean into the hill here, which is a lot of nervous reaction, the weight is now over the hill and your skis will tend to slide off the surface. So pedal turns essentially link the basic body position on the steeps every time you're touching down. Here we go.
When doing pedal turns in the steep, make sure you keep the shoulders square with the fall line. The uphill hand always leads into the next turn. It never stays behind. You have to keep your head up looking down the line. It'll make you relax and will help you to ski it much easier.
Okay, so get your control and your balance before you start your pedal move into your next turn. Every turn, control and balance.
And roll with me, baby. We're going to the backwoods land. I'll pour some stew, darling. You can do what you do with a mountain backpack. I got blues, I got you, I got muddy road shoes. They thought they were alone, but along came T-Bone. He went down to the bog with his fishing line, sat down on a log and crawled about the slide.
A great way to find your center and practice your steep skiing techniques is with the elephant hop drill. In the hop drill, it does require a fair bit of power out of the lower legs. When it's a little steeper, I find myself jumping off the uphill ski. But don't worry so much about that. Jump off whatever works. But as you pop off the snow, pick up the knees for an extra little bit of height and then spin the ankles to create the turn, while the upper body quietly goes straight down the hill in neutral. Having trouble with the hop turn drill, you're not getting off the snow, you can use your uphill hand projected down the hill forward to help lift yourself off the snow and keep moving down the hill, hop to hop. Another key in this drill is control. You're learning control for the steeps by setting a strong edge set platform. Give it a look. Platform. If you can't get all the way around, go to here, platform, platform, platform.
The only real trick to walking uphill in the steeps is to kick your feet in every time. It's not totally like walking upstairs. You have to kind of create your own stair by kicking your foot into the snow and then you step up on it. So kick and step, kick and step.
When it really gets steep, use your skis as a bracing tool to help you climb.
That's the key to walking in the steeps.
One of our favorite ways to go off-piste skiing is to actually go out into the backcountry a little bit. You know, just hike up the hill and get your own fresh tracks. Way important is to have an avalanche transceiver. This is a unit that broadcasts a signal and also receives a signal, so if you get buried, your friends can find you. The great thing about an avalanche transceiver is the fact that it'll save your life. You just have to know how to use it and make sure that your friend knows how to use it also. The basic essentials that you need. A shovel. Okay, you need to have a shovel on your pack. An avalanche probe. This forms a 15-foot pole to find buried victims. Don't worry if you poke your buddy in the head. He'll still thank you when you get him out.
Compass is good. If you have a map to go with it, that's even better.
Hey, you guys, it looks great up here. Get moving.
Okay, first aid kit, extra fleece layer, water, goo, fast food for athletes, sandwich, wool hat, baseball cap for sun, alpine checkers, climbing skins. We're out of here. Might as well gear up while we're waiting for those guys. Climbing skins adhere to the bases of your skis and allow you to walk up the hill without sliding backwards. Get all the water off your bases before putting on the skins, and make sure to leave both edges exposed for good grip when traversing. Trekkers turn your regular bindings into freeheel bindings for touring. We're cruising now. When considering skiing an off-piste zone, there's a few criteria you really need to take into account. Recent wind and snow cycles to assess the avalanche danger, the exposure to the sun and how that's going to affect the hill, the easy in and easy out of the zone you're thinking about skiing, or the real hot ticket is, ask a local.
When we were in Blackcomb, we were lucky to meet one of the longtime avalanche pros on the patrol. He clued us into some cool areas with easy access around the Blackcomb Glacier. He told us the snow was stable with variable surface conditions depending on wind and sun effects. The only concern was natural breaking of the mature cornices as they heated up from the sun.
Decker had a north to northwest face and a high elevation subject to a lot of wind. It had two great zones to ski. The first offered classic chute skiing, and the second offered big, beautiful bowl skiing. We headed for the chutes.
Do they check innocent lives, distinguish black from white? Printed in the news today. Chicago romance here to stay. Why do I live in fear? What is happening here? Do all you ties say yes we must?
Eric, the snow's kind of wind-packed with breakable crust over the old tracks. Not such great snow for turning in, but exciting shoot. Okay, I'm going to head back down the ridge and drop in between those two cornices for some glory wind buff.
It's not forever.
With Decker done, we were off to Disease Ridge. It was lower and more technical with steep entries, little chutes, and nice protected north-facing ridges that may still hold some winter snow. great day at Blackcomb on a successful backcountry tour. I love skiing so much, and it's because of the excitement of this never-ending pursuit of all-mountain, all-terrain kind of skiing. And we've shared some of this experience with you through the video, and the journey never ends. You can always get better, and there's always new types of terrain and things to ski. So keep on going. We've always considered this video an opportunity to show you situational skiing. Things that you just run into that you can't really normally get in a lesson, but it just happens. And today we're going to go over the rare but fun house jib. Balance over the boots, a little bit of a pre-jump. There's not much room for a pole plant. Woo!
Oh, and another thing, don't take this video or your skiing too seriously.
Johnny, why don't you ever ski anything? Must be because Dan's just not into it.
Where are the lemons?
If you want bumps, don't buy this video.
Sweet. Sweet. First off, never wear your pole straps. You can snag a pole and bop your melon. Number 2, always wear eyewear. You don't want to poke an eyeball. And number 3, keep both skis on the same side of the tree, jerky. Oh, I forgot.
Go. Good cat.
Get out there and lap it up.
The Extreme Team rules!
Yeah!
Put in our Thule Adventure box, the key to traveling and looking good. You know, that's amazing how dry and warm that North Face jacket keeps you. Hand me those light and strong reflex composite poles. Hey, how about the Cal Pro skates? You got those down there? Plenty of room in the Thule Adventure box.
Plenty
for all of your gear. Thanks. So nice to get it out of your rig. Takes much better care. Safety pays in every way.